So hi Cindy, welcome. How are you
Hi,
doing today?
Monica. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Well, it's so
Great.
nice to get, together again and to, just to hear what you have to tell us. And for those people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about you?
Yes. My name is Cindy Terrell. I run a business that's called Holistic Strength, Nutrition, and Lifestyle Coaching. So I'm a nutrition and lifestyle coach, and I focus on helping women, active women over 40 and over, thrive in this stage of life. There's a little bit unique requirements for this stage, and someone who's gone through it has driven me into that arena. So I have a certification in Ayurveda, so I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. I also carry certifications with Precision Nutrition's Level 1 nutrition coaching. And late last year, I think it was late last year, I graduated from Zach Bush's Journey of Intrinsic Health series. So I'm able to coach in that arena as well. And I'm someone who believes in the natural approach and to health and wellness. So basically, a back to basics approach, and really using nature and its rhythms to really drive holistic health for a person. I'm a mom of two, a grandmom of like, I think 7 kids.
You can
You
count
lose
them.
track after a while, right?
Yeah.
But I guess my biggest passion is showing everyone the age is just a number, and life after 40 can be actually very glorious.
That's wonderful.
So,
Yeah, that's fantastic. I absolutely love what you do. But for people who don't know what Ayurveda is, can you just tell us a little bit about that, what that is?
yeah, Ayurveda is an ancient health and wellness system out of India. It's been around for thousands of years, and what drew me to it is the premise is food is medicine, the medicine is food, but it's also a very holistic approach. So it's mind, body, and spirit approach. But it really is the food is medicine, medicine is food that drew me in. And some of the basic premises, some people may have heard of constitutions and stuff like that. So we all have a certain constitution that we're born with, and it's using the 5 elements to describe the constitutions. So it's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Your Vata is made up of air and space or ether, whatever word you want to use to describe it. And that's mainly responsible for communication, transformation, and movement within the body. Pitta is the fire and a little bit of water. You can think of it like moisture element. And that is its primary focus is digestion, metabolism, and transformation within the body. And then there's kapha, which is the earth and water element. And that is made up or is responsible for the structure, strength, and lubrication within the body. And you can take those three constitutions and use it to describe everything around us, everything in nature. You can use those terms to describe. For example, the times of day are broken down into Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And so the Vata time of day is 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And in Ayurveda, they like to see you wake up before that so you have more energy throughout the day. Your next block of time is the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And this is for nighttime as well, by the way, is kapha time. So it's a little bit think about, I don't know, for me, when I woke up as a child, and when you got up really late, 11 o'clock, things are like really dragging, you feel real heavy. So that's kapha. And then the pitta time of day is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And again, it's the same at night, 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. Or, 10 to 2 a.m. And you can apply it to the seasons and whole 9 yards. So so the whole thing with Ayurveda is you have these in the body, and through pulse diagnosis and other things that you can look at in someone's physiology, is you can find out where the imbalances are and use food, lifestyle habits, herbs and spices to bring things back into balance.
That's fantastic. Wow. I just love that because I used to tell myself I was not a morning person.
Mhm.
And And I actually started, practicing, it's, I don't know if you know about, oh, what's his name? Hal, his first name is Hal, but he calls, magical morning. And,
Mhm.
and basically is the time that you wake up
Mhm.
and start your day, and then you move it on. And I mean, you are able to accomplish so much from
Yeah.
that. So I understand completely what you're talking
Yeah.
about the times of day when you're more energetic.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what tips can you give? Okay, we are coming into spring, and
Mhm.
it's my favorite time of the year. What tips do you have for spring?
Well, one of the things that Ayurveda brings to the plate, is doing I'm going to call it a seasonal cleanse. So, where we have 4 seasons, you could literally do it at the change of every season,
Mhm.
but that's not practical for most of us. So there are a couple of times of year that are really most advantageous. And one of them is that transition from winter into spring,
Mhm.
is to do an Ayurvedic cleanse. And what I love about the Ayurvedic cleanses is not only is it a chance for your body to do like a reset and help do a little bit more deeper house cleaning, from your what you're taking in standpoint, but there's also some other practices that go along with it to kind of really pamper yourself a little bit more. Um, and it goes in 3 stages. So you want to do a cleanse prep, which you want to, like the first, I'm going to say about a week, 3 days to a week before you start your cleanse. You really want to eliminate let's say like your ultra processed foods. If you're someone who drinks coffee or has a lot, into a lot of caffeine, you really want to, at the very least, at least reduce it, but ideally get to the point where you're off of it by the time the cleanse starts.
Mhm.
If you're someone who smokes, you want to have that out of your way. You also want to kind of back off on the meat consumption as well if you're someone who eats meat. Ayurveda in general recommends a plant-based diet or a vegetarian diet, but certainly can still work with people who are meat eaters. It's not like it's total taboo, but you want to get the refined sugars out and any sweets and stuff like that. So by the time you're getting into your cleanse, you're not having to quit all that stuff cold turkey, which we want to go into this very gently, because that's the one thing Ayurveda is very good at, is being very gentle to the body. There's nothing that is advised as far as doing anything drastic. It's always a very gradual transition through things. And then when you get to the actual cleanse, it lasts about 7 days. It can be adjusted depending on what someone's schedule is like. But during that time, you're on what they call a mono diet. The term that they usually use is khichdi. So it's a combination of Indian dal, basmati rice, and then you put vegetables and stuff on that. Breakfast, you can choose to kind of have something very light. A lot of times it'd be a stewed apple. But during this time, you can start a practice which is called Abhyanga, and that's just a self hot oil massage that you basically do from head to toe
Mhm.
before you shower or before you go to bed or something like that. And it's very grounding and very settling to the nervous system, but it also helps stimulate and remove the toxins, because with that mono diet, you want to do everything that's organic. It's very easy to digest. So it gives the body an opportunity to really start shedding a lot of the toxins that we're exposed to throughout the year. The other thing that's usually added during this time are some detoxifying herbs. But like I said, that lasts about 7 days. And then when you're done with those 7 days, you very slowly over the next 3 to 7 days, you want to slowly reintroduce foods that you cut out that you want to bring back into your diet. Hopefully it would be a motivating factor to keep the processed foods out and really kind of keep it clean, but you can still bring some of the, we'll say treats back in. But you want to do it as slowly as possible, because your body's still detoxifying and really resetting from that whole process. So the gentler you can be as far as the reintroduction of foods, the better off you are. The ideal situation is where you're introducing nutrient dense foods. So I like to think of, anything that Mother Nature has to offer is usually your best choice, right? Especially when it comes to the fruits and veggies. But you can figure that your body is going through a rejuvenation process up to about 3 months, depending on, how long you did the cleanse and the whole 9 yards. So, during this time also, I should go back a little bit. During the cleanse, you want to make sure that you're doing gentle exercises. You're walking, your yoga, nothing that's high intensity. If you're someone who does weight training and stuff like that, you really want to back off on that kind of stuff. Again, it's about being gentle and allowing your body the chance to do a reset, cleanse, and think of it as a deep spring clean.
Wow, that is so good. Because obviously we are both in health, and I do nutrition as well, and it's amazing how integrating all those things, because they all work together. That it really helps the body to not only heal,
Yes.
but it starts you on a process to health. And
Yes.
what I find for most people is once you do that, the cravings kind of come to an end. And so even if you are doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, you actually don't crave those things as much. And
Right.
and so that's a great idea. All
Yeah.
right, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so go ahead.
I was just going to say that something I wanted to add too, because we don't really think of it in the Western world too much, but we always, when you hear the word digestion, you're always thinking it's just what we eat. But digestion is really anything the body takes in. So what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what people are speaking at, just everything that your body takes in needs to be digested in some form or fashion. So another good thing to maybe add to that routine is, being cognizant of what you're watching and, what you're listening to, is it positive, or are you listening to things that are really negative? So it can become a very comprehensive time to really do a lot of self-care and just really treat your body like the temple that it is.
It definitely is a temple, and we don't look at it that way.
No, we don't. We don't.
Yeah.
So, and it's so important that we take care of this vehicle that we're walking around in on a daily basis. It's just it makes such a huge difference in quality of life and the outlook on life and stuff like that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, I can talk to you all day, because we are right on the same page on life, because because for the most part, people just look at health as just diet. And when you talk about all these other different elements that actually help the body to be whole, because when I talk to my clients, I tell them, I know so many people that eat well, but they're still sick because they're not looking at all the other things that
right.
That happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just for example, sleep. Right. If you don't have proper sleep, you can have that best diet.
Exactly.
And you're circumventing the benefits that you can get from that good diet with having not enough sleep.
Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So it's so nice when we incorporate all different areas of our lives, to be complete, to be whole, and because I think that's how we were meant to live, and
yes,
have joy and peace and all those things that come with it.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of reconnecting to all that we should be. And I know it's difficult for a lot of people just because, we live in a very fast-paced society.
And we are not taught those things. We are not taught.
No,
so,
exactly.
I know most other cultures, that's how they live. And so it's easy to implement. But when you're, when we are in this, fast-paced world, and it looks like just another thing to add on. you know, and so
It
it
does.
has to be very, very conscious to
Hmm.
say, this is what I want, and then you go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the other thing to keep in mind also is that you don't necessarily have, well, it's not a good idea to try and change everything all at one time
Exactly. Yeah.
because we set ourselves up for failure when we do that.
Hmm.
But if you slowly start
So,
integrating some of these self care practices,
mm,
you start reaping the benefits, even though you might not initially realize it. But, if you keep working at it, because I remember when I was first introduced to Ayurveda, I'm like, oh, I want to do it all. But
you
it,
can't. Yeah.
it's with the way we live, it's nearly impossible to do it all. So you
It,
pick the ones that are going to be most beneficial to you, and
right.
that's something that looks like something different for
I
everybody.
say that is a start.
Yes,
It is a
exactly.
start. And once you
Yep.
master that, then you can do
Yes,
something else and you master that. And it all starts coming
absolutely.
together because you're seeing the positive, the
Yes.
positive effects of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the key, is just making that first step
Hmm.
in that right direction.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Wow. This has been great. Just
Thank you.
you know
Thank you so much.
I love hearing all different types of health, and I because in each one of them, because sometimes we think, oh, this, but then you hear
Hmm.
something and you're like, oh, that's a great thing to implement.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even going back to the digestion part, so everything that you take in. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that and this isn't to me an easy one to implement, is I became very cognizant of what I'm putting on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
So I make, not saying everyone has to do this, but I make my own moisturizer.
Mm-hmm.
So I know exactly
What
what's
it
going
is.
on my skin.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because the other thing that Ayurveda says is, if you should not put anything on your skin that you can't eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you keep that in mind, it eliminates a lot of stuff
It does.
that we use nowadays,
Oh my
as far as
goodness.
that kind of body care. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
um there's a lot to it, but at the same time, again, it's just all about baby steps and
It's it
education.
it is baby steps. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is wonderful. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think I think we have, picked some people's interests. And so I'm sure there'll be people wanting to know a little bit more about,
Mhm.
how they can start and what they can implement. And, we're just here to help people on that journey
Yes.
to
Yep.
health. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we will maybe catch up later and get some other information in.
Okay. Very good. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.